What's up, guys? The fight of the night was CJ versus Lacerda, and the performance of the nights were Pineda and Landwehr. They all won $50,000. Congratulations to them. The attendance tonight was 16,076. It was sold out, and the gate was 2.15 million. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I guess the first ring is a split decision in the event.
Yeah.
Surprised?
I was literally coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, were you surprised? I mean, I think everybody was surprised.
Yeah, probably one.
Could have been 5-0. I mean, could have been 4-0, but yeah, split. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty scary.
With that said, what did you make of Corey's performance?
Yeah, he looked incredible. He looked incredible. He shut him down. He incredible footwork, lateral movement, takedowns. I mean, he had it all.
Do you think for Cheeto, his problem is sometimes he just doesn't have enough output? Sometimes
100%. Yeah, Cheeto to me looked really slow in the Cruz fight, right up until he caught him and knocked him out. So I was kind of waiting for that, last 2 rounds, and even his corner said to him, "You got 2 rounds to finish this guy. You need to finish this fight." So, yeah.
That said, for Corey, I mean, he did your job for you. He made a call out. He wants to fight Merab. Merab and Aljo's relationship being what it is. Does that fight make sense? I know we don't make fights on the night, but...
Yeah, exactly. You answered your own question. Thank you.
And what about Holly Holm? What did you make of her performance?
Yeah, I thought she looked incredible tonight. I thought it was weird. Santos was, charging her and getting into the clinch with her, and then Holly would just take her down and get on top of her and do whatever she wanted. And she kept doing the same thing every time they stood up on their feet. Yeah.
She just signed a new contract with the UFC. I think it's 6 fights, she said on Media Day. Do you see that she has another title run in her? Do you think she can make it back to the top and potentially fight for gold again?
She's been at the top the whole time she's been here. So to think look how good she looked tonight. Every time you think Holly's starting to get too old, she comes in and puts on a performance like she did tonight. She looked good. I thought Santos had a horrible game plan. As far as I was concerned, I'm no coach, but Holly did what she needed to do and completely dominated her.
Going back to Corey and Merab, technically you did make Colby Covington, Leon Edwards on that night of the fight. So
say that again?
You did make Colby Covington versus Leon that night.
Yes, I did. That is true. But that was a no-brainer. I mean, Colby is... If Usman doesn't exist, Colby's been the champ now for a while, and he's been there forever. He cut the weight. He showed up to fill in for that fight, and a million other reasons why he deserves that fight.
Would you have done him versus Usman if Usman had won?
Would we have done him probably? Yeah, probably. I don't know. He didn't win, so I'm not in that position.
Dana, we saw that Don Cerrone was surprised that, he's now going to be a UFC Hall of Famer. Can you talk about what he means for the company and now that he's getting that spot in the UFC Hall of Fame?
Yeah, we love Cowboy. He's been, when you look at what he meant to the WEC and then came over here and what he's meant to the UFC and what he's meant to the sport as a whole. And he's a great human being, too. So it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah. He was completely surprised. How difficult is it to maintain all that away from him?
Yeah, we flew his family in. He didn't know his family was here either. And then we tried to get his grandmother in here too, but she's just health-wise, it didn't work for her. But she wanted to come. She tried everything she could to try to make it happen. We were even gonna fly a EMT with her to come with her on the trip, but we couldn't get it done. But yeah, we love the guy and we're happy for him.
And what did you think of Macy Barber's performance, now 4-0 in the flyweight division?
Yeah, I mean, she came in to fight, and that was a tough fight, another close one, and close on the cards, too. But, yeah, Macy pulled out the win tonight, so.
She says she wants to get a rematch with Alexa Grasso, whether she has the belt or not. So I'm just wondering, is there an update on what's going to happen with Grasso's next title defense, or first title defense, actually? Is it going to be an immediate rematch with Shevchenko?
Yeah, no, we don't know yet. Yeah, we don't have that done yet.
Yeah. And obviously, speaking of Grasso, there's also 2 other champions from Mexico. It just seems like it's a no-brainer, right, to have a UFC event in Mexico this year. Is that in the works? Is there any plans for that?
Well, we would obviously love to get back to Mexico and do that, but I don't know if it's in the plans right now. We're building the PI down there right now, and wait till you guys see that. I can't wait to share that with you. Actually, the renderings for the UFC PI in Mexico it's going to be badass. But we're not looking at a you're right. You're not wrong. We got 3 Mexican champions finally. We probably should be heading to Mexico, or at least doing a Cinco de Mayo, but that didn't work out either. So
There's always September.
yeah, you're right. We'll see.
And why has Mexico been such a big target for you? Because I mean, you've said it in the past, right? Like this is something that you've been wanting to do, and finally, like 3 champions, and it seems we have a nice crop of Mexican talent coming up.
Some of the baddest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth have come out of Mexico, and me being a huge boxing fan growing up too, Mexico's always been an important market to me, and it took longer than I expected it to, but it didn't, I guess. I'm impatient and expect things a lot quicker than they happen, but the UK and Mexico were both very important to me.
Yeah. Sticking with the Mexican theme, there were some reports that there's talks of potentially that title unification bout at 145 pounds between Volkanovski and Jair for International Fight Week. Any update on that? Is that the...
No, if there was, I would have announced it already. But we're still working on that stuff. I'll have something soon. We were actually going to make a couple of announcements this week, but it didn't work out this week. But it's coming. It's coming, guys.
And lastly, Daniel Pineda, a veteran of the sport, picked up a nice submission win. He fought out his contract. He says he would like to stay with the UFC, but unsure of his future. What's next for him? 100% finishing rate, has finished all his fights. What'd you make of his performance, and is that someone that the company would be?
Did you say Pineda? Yeah. I mean, obviously he won a performance bonus tonight. So, yeah, we like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, over here. You had guys, everyone here from what that fought basically was from Texas of some sort. You have, Alexander Hernandez is from San Antonio. CJ's also from San Antonio. Even a guy like Zach Borrego fought on Fury FC last night. He's from San Antonio. What do you think about the Texas MMA scene overall?
Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. I met a girl at the gym this morning too who won the bantamweight championship, I guess, last night at Fury too. So she was talking to me about the Contender Series. So, yeah, listen, Texas has been very good to us, meaning the UFC, since day one. We love coming down here. We love putting on fights here. We love the crowd here. I love every city here. Every city is unique and fun and different. And, yeah, it's all good, man.
And I also want to know, so March is Women's History Month. Obviously, Holly Holm is a history maker. We all know this. Can you talk a little bit about what she means to you as a promoter, someone that's been here and followed her career for forever?
Well, what's incredible about Holly Holm is what does she mean to combat sports, period? I mean, boxing Hall of Fame, she'll end up UFC Hall of Fame. She did kickboxing too. I mean, she's a very unique, incredible human being, let alone woman. So, yeah, she's somebody that we will absolutely, positively celebrate, all of her achievements in all the combat sports. She's incredible and one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet.
And my last one for you. Last time you were here, Leon Edwards is in the main event. Obviously, he's the welterweight champion now. You have a guy like Corey Sandhagen who just wins, and it looks like he's right on the cusp of that as well. Do you think that's something that could be in Corey's future as well?
Yeah, like we were just talking, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he looked really good tonight, and obviously he beat the number 3 guy in the world who, he absolutely that wasn't a split decision. Whoever scored that fight a split decision I don't even know. I'm not even going to go there, but yeah, he absolutely dominated tonight and put himself in a really good position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana over here. Daniel Cormier said that Bilal Muhammad is the most warranted for a welterweight title shot. I just wanted to know what your thoughts on that was and why Bilal is not getting the next title shot.
Well, Daniel Cormier doesn't make those decisions. It's nice of him, but yeah, Bilal. We have plans for Bilal. Bilal's going to fight again soon, and then we'll find out who's next in line.
Awesome. And CJ Vergara had an incredible performance. The San Antonio kid, what did you think of his performance and the pop that he got from the crowd of his incredible comeback win?
Yeah, that fight was awesome. Both guys, I mean, it was an absolute war. And for the second round to be the complete opposite of the first round, I mean, as fight fans, all of us, not just promoters, media, and whatever we are in this room, when you see those kind of fights, man, it's just that's what the sport's all about. So it doesn't get any better than that.
Awesome. And I had a question out of left field. Jorge Masvidal is a BMF champion, but will there ever be a women's BMF champion?
I don't know. When we were getting ready for the promotion for that fight, and I came up with the BMF belt, I told you guys about matchmaking, how matchmaking works at our office. There's 4 of us involved in it. It's me, Sean, Mick, and Hunter, and we get in there and we argue and we go back and forth and we do this and that. And I thought they were gonna fucking flame me when I came up with the BMF idea, and everybody liked it, so we did it. The thing might be a one and done, but it was fun for that fight and it made sense for those 2 guys. But I don't know. I mean, we've kind of kicked it around. I mean, we've talked about it before. I don't know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana, right here. I don't know if you had seen it yet, but last night there was a pretty big refereeing blunder.
I saw it on social media this morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because the refereeing done by Jason Herzog tonight in the Vergara fight was great.
Right.
That fight kept going. But I wanted to get your thoughts on what happened last night.
Yeah, obviously I wasn't there to see it, but I saw it on social, and that's the kind of stuff that I really, really don't like. I mean, if a guy gets choked unconscious and you don't know he's choked unconscious, everybody has a bad night. Everybody makes mistakes, but if a guy gets choked unconscious and then they pull him into an arm bar, and the guy, it doesn't get any worse than that. It's the one that I went after Mazzagatti so bad about when Josh Berkman choked out, what's the kid's name? The wrestler. Choked him unconscious, and Mazzagatti had no idea he was unconscious. Finally, Berkman dropped him and let him Fitch. He choked Fitch unconscious, and Mazzagatti had no clue that he was out. I mean, you shouldn't be reffing if that happens, in my opinion.
And then I wanted to know your thoughts on Nate Landwehr, because he showed up tonight in a nice blue suit, and obviously he got on the mic. He was flexing his biceps. Seems to be, no pun intended, the Nate the Train seems to be getting some steam going behind him right now.
And the guy's a savage. I mean, every time we do, if you don't know, if he's on the card, he ends up on if you don't know. You should know by now. And tonight, he looked incredible. The guy's an absolute savage. Just keeps moving forward, tries to take your head off. And obviously tonight, he was matched up against a very tough, nasty dude, and he looked good. Yeah, he's fun to watch, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
Dana, just one question. Bantamweight division, obviously Sandhagen won tonight, but with Cejudo coming back, and just can you talk about the matchmaking with that division in general?
Yeah, that division's on fire. It's fun, and like you just said, with Cejudo coming back, it makes it even more fun. So we got a lot of good fights that we can make in that division. It's exciting. Thank you.
Dana, you were talking about how good Corey Sandhagen fight was tonight, and you said that you saw Chito very slow. What else do you think happened to Chito tonight?
I think that Chito generally is a slow starter. He looked slow in the Cruz fight, right up until he knocked him out. And tonight he just could never pull the trigger with Sandhagen. Plus, not to take anything away from Chito, Sandhagen looked incredible. His footwork is unbelievable, the way he switches up, the way he mixed in his wrestling tonight and the takedowns. His lateral movement is as good as lateral movement gets. The guy literally fought the perfect fight tonight against Chito. So without making it sound, Chito's slow or this or that, but I thought Chito looked slow in the Cruz fight right up until he knocked Cruz out. So tonight I was kind of waiting. We have a group text, me and the matchmakers, and we were all talking about it tonight. And I was like, I don't know. Let's wait before we start judging until the end, because Chito Vera can pull off anything. And he never really got there. He started to turn it on like the last 15 seconds, but that was a little too late. He should have started fighting that way in the fourth.
Yeah, Dana, just one more right here. I don't know if you saw, but Leon Edwards has expressed that he wouldn't like to fight Colby. He just doesn't think he deserves the fight. I don't know. Curious what you make of those comments, and is there any possibility that it may not be Colby next? I mean, there are some big welterweight fights coming up, especially with the Masvidal and Burns.
Why would Colby not deserve the fight? Can somebody explain that to me?
Well, a lot of fans are saying he hasn't fought since May of last year.
Oh, he got jumped and was actually injured from, yeah. Leon didn't fight for like almost 2 years. He got the shot. Colby, listen, it's not like I'm a big, Colby, Colby Covington deserves this shot at the title. And I don't blame Leon. Leon just got through Usman twice, and now he's looking at another wrestler, with a funky style that's tough to deal with. But that's it. I mean, when you become the champ, everybody's coming after you. All the straight killers are coming at you for the next, 3 times a fucking year. You're faced with nothing but the baddest dudes in the world in your division. So it's just part of the. If you look at Usman and what he did, Usman ran through that division twice. Usman's one of the greatest of all time, and he, Leon just beat him twice. You're the man, Leon. You're the guy. Everybody's coming after you, and it's going to be Colby next.
Thank you.
Cool. You guys done with me? Have a great night, San Antonio. Appreciate it.
Holly, congratulations on a great performance. You'd mentioned that you'd trained with her in the past. So did that fight play out kind of how you suspected it would based on your training experiences?
Somewhat. When I trained with her, I knew her clinch was strong. I knew she was, just a strong girl. I knew that she trained hard. She's kind of got that grind and that grit in her, so I figured that would be there. I wanted to stand up a little more, but the fact that she was grabbing on so much, I thought, well, let's just go with it then and just do some wrestling and kind of take it from here then.
You got her in a crucifix in the second, I think. It looked like you even got in a rear naked choke at one point. Were you sort of chasing the finish? Did you think it was close, or were you just sort of, I'm taking my time and what happens, happens?
I wish I would have taken a little more time to get a little more secure position in the crucifix, because I think that, that could have been the end of the fight if I would have kind of solidified a little more solid position before I let the strikes go. And as far as the rear naked, I could have sat there and focused on it a little more, but I also was controlling on top that sometimes I don't want to just chase something so much and then lose a good position. So that's why I let go of it.
Yeah. After the fight, you didn't call out any names, but there are, I think, only 2 people ranked above you at this point. So is it sort of, the title or bust? I'll wait for an opportunity, or I'll just keep fighting until I get a title shot?
I guess we'll just see whatever they come up with. Yeah, I definitely feel there's not many above me. I've fought Raquel Pennington twice, so sometimes that doesn't make sense. However, if that's the fight again, then, but other than that, it's like Pena or the championship, I guess. But you never know. Things change so much, and you never know. I just want to keep getting better in the gym, and whatever they present is what's going to be.
Yeah, and last one for me. You used your post-fight speech to use a platform, I believe, to sort of speak out against the sexualization of children. I'm curious if you wanted to use your platform again now to sort of go into further detail.
There's a lot of things. I don't ever want to be not like a real political person. I don't like to put that stuff on any of my social media or because I think but there's also just right and wrong, and I feel like everybody should be on the same side on that. I don't feel like that has anything to do with left side, right side, or anything like that. I feel like everybody should be wanting to protect our children, and there's stuff there's a lot of child trafficking, and I mean that's like the extreme part, but there's a lot of levels to it. You just see it almost being more accepted, and I think that's really sad. So I just feel like we should all do what we can. I know it's like a lot of people don't even know what to do, but if I can at least have a voice on it, then that's something I can speak out on it. And it's just to get everybody together to protect children. Childhood really affects people in their long-term life too. I mean, I have friends that are adults, and their biggest thing that kind of is this shadow, kind of that dark space in them is being sexualized when they were young. And I just feel like it's almost getting accepted.
Holly, when would you like to return? Like, if you could map out the rest of 2023, what would it look like?
I'm healthy right now. I didn't get any injuries in the fight. So, I mean, it's always nice to not, it's more of a mental break to not have a fight scheduled. But I'm sure in 2 weeks I'll be bored and be like, what's my purpose? So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't really have like a set timeline, but, we'll see.
Yeah. And you're fighting now into your 40s, and you're obviously in phenomenal shape. Your performances are great. But how would you describe sort of this chapter of your career? How do you feel physically in terms of like prime? Do you feel like there's a lot more to give? There's different levels that you can achieve? Do you feel like we've yet to see the best of Holly Holm?
I do feel that. There's the recovery that takes a little more. If I really look back on what's different now at 41 than at 31, it's just I have to actually schedule in my recovery in between my trainings, but I'm able to do it. I have the time to do it. I'm definitely more careful when I train. I want to train hard, but I also want to make sure I'm not getting injured in training and things like that. But I do feel like I'm still evolving. I feel like I'm still learning, and I want to use a little bit of what I was doing great before and add it on with things that I've learned, and just keep putting it all together. At first it was like watch out for her boxing, then it was watch out for her kicks, and then it was like watch out for her clinch, and now they're like, well, her wrestling's getting there too. And I'm always working on something, and I want to be able to really just be able to put it all together. And I still feel like I have that all in me.
Yeah, and we've seen you grapple a lot in recent years. Do you enjoy it more than the boxing, or would you rather box? I mean, your opponents obviously look to grapple you.
I think my love will always be striking, but I do have a newfound love with kind of just the grind and the wrestling aspect of it, and grappling. You know, it's like things that when I first started, I think the more you learn with anything, you obviously enjoy it the more you know it. And when you're first learning, you know, any kind of grappling or jiu-jitsu, it's like, I don't even know what to do. And then when you start learning how to pass and how to, you know, do what you want to do and impose your will on someone, it gets more fun. So, but still in my heart, striking's always what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, and going into this fight, the big news was that you signed a new deal with the UFC, 6 fights. Do you think this is the last deal you sign with the UFC? Meaning, like, do you think we'll see the rest of your career play out within these 6 fights?
That's very possible. I don't ever really like to put a timeline on myself, but I definitely know that I'm not 25 or 30 anymore. I still feel very healthy right now, but 6 fights is still quite a bit of time. So, yeah, I definitely know that, you know, retirement is sooner than it was 10 years ago, but I'm not ready to do it right yet. So
Yeah, for sure. And you fought so many people in the division, and your longevity is quite impressive. Is there any names that, besides the belt, is there any names that you would like to come across and fight? Is there any of that?
oh, I've never called anybody out. I always just want to be ready for anyone. I think sometimes if you get so focused on one person, you know, that maybe you don't get excited for if it's a different type of fight. You know, I just want to be ready for anybody. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Holly, over here. To make a quick analogy, so later in his career, Michael Jordan added the turnaround jumper as his bread and butter. For you, later in your career, after the grappling display you've been putting on, is that something that might be your bread and butter as we kind of progress into the later part of your career?
Yeah, you never know. If there's a few things, there are a few things that I don't have on my record yet. I don't have a stoppage from just like the ref having to stop me from, you know, ground and pound or a submission. I still got those out there. I mean, I'm always liking the knockouts, and I always like the technical knockouts, all that kind of stuff. But I still feel like there's unfinished business, so.
And with it being Women's History Month this month, I would just like to know, I don't know if you ever get a chance to reflect on your career, but how does it feel knowing that you are not only, you know, a boxing Hall of Famer, but you will be a first ballot UFC Hall of Famer and all that good stuff?
I'm very humble, and I feel a lot of support, and I'm super blessed to be able to be a female and be an athlete. I feel proud to be a female and to be an athlete, and I'm proud to be a woman. I love being a woman, and I'm a competitive woman. You know, I feel like I want to always use my platform to try and be positive to people and to other women, not just women, everyone, but to other women too. You know, I feel like sometimes people can feel like maybe what they're supposed to do is maybe like on this certain path, and I feel like my book is different than anybody else's, and this is what my path has been. You know, I did 10 years of boxing, and now I've done a decade of martial arts, and you know, 10 years ago, people thought I should have retired then. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm on my own journey, and I'm thankful that I have a team that supports that, you know, and isn't trying to. I feel like if people don't support you really or think that you should retire too, that makes you feel weak, you know. And I'm just glad that I have a strong team that's like, yeah, we can do it, and they truly believe in me. But I'm proud to be a woman and do what I do and be writing my own book.
Thank you.
Hi, Holly. Would you like to share a card of John Jones in the summer? I believe he's wanting to fight in International Fight Week in July. Does that sound good?
You know, I think I'm ready for whatever, you know. I think I always love to be on a big card. So I definitely I welcome any kind of exciting card like that. I try not to put anything too much in my head. I want to just wait and see whatever opportunity the UFC presents.
Can you recall the best backflip you've ever done inside the cage?
I mean, they all mean victory, so it's just, I'll tell you the story of my first backflip, though. I got knocked out, and it was the first time I ever had a loss like that. And I was coming back for a fight, and I was super nervous. My coach, Mike Winklejohn, he's like, everybody does like back handspring stuff, which now we see a lot more stuff in MMA. People are backflipping all over the cage. the time, though, I was just doing it in boxing. You don't really see people doing that a lot. And he's like, can you do a backflip? And I was like, after 10 rounds, I don't know. I'm not like a standing backflip person, but I can always do it off your hands. So we practiced it one time at the gym after hitting mitts, and then after the fight, he was like, oh, you want to do it? I was like, oh, yeah, let's do the backflip. He's like, if you win, we're going to do it. And so then it became a thing. So that maybe, that to me was just, it was a moment that helped me get past, like, being so nervous to get back in there and kind of put a different kind of mindset on something. I don't know, it was just like an exciting thing to do and get that victory. So it's always meant something, and every victory is great, but I don't know, I guess I have like different stories for each one, so.
And how do you plan on celebrating this victory?
I'm actually going to go I have a lot of family here that I don't get to see much, and a lot of friends that are here, and I get to go embrace them and just celebrate together.
Awesome. Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Holly, Donald Cerrone got inducted or it was announced that he's going to be inducted into UFC Hall of Fame. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I actually saw him here, and I had no idea, and congratulations to him. I think that's any fighter's, especially when you're, he's retired. I think that's anybody's want to be inducted. I mean, that's a huge honor. So I hope to join that someday.
Dana said you would be.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'll wait till that time comes. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
That was a great performance tonight. Right, funny. It was a great performance tonight, but I have to say, Split, I think, caught a few people by surprise. When you heard that, what was the emotion going through your head right there?
I think I do a pretty good job of sometimes keeping like real good track of the volume, the damage, and the takedowns. And I thought that I was doing that almost the entire fight. If you extend yourself too much, you're putting yourself in harm's way. Like that's not how other sports work. When you're like winning, you play differently than when you're losing. So I thought that I was winning most of those rounds. Like maybe the third, I was like, that one was maybe like a little bit close, but I thought that I was bagging the other ones. Definitely knew that I had the first two. So, confusing, but that's like the sport of MMA. Yeah. Until like the rules get fixed, then it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah, so for what it's worth, the guy scored the last three for him, but I haven't seen anyone else who agrees with them yet. So.
Well, yeah, if they would have scored one of those first two for him, that would be like a real riot.
The last three are pretty wild too. How happy are you with your own performance? Had great volume, sort of kept him on the back foot most of the fight. How happy are you with your own
Yeah, I was really happy with it. I think I did exactly what I have to do, like when you fight these top guys, especially when they're like knockout artists, kind of like Marlon is, you just have to fight them in a certain way. Marlon doesn't close distance very well, so I knew as long as I wasn't closing the distance for him, he was going to have a really hard time hitting me. And I think that I fought like almost a perfect fight for fighting that type of opponent.
Yeah. He's like notorious for sort of getting his offense going in the 4th and 5th. So when you're going into those rounds, do you take a mental note of like, okay, this is where he could potentially be more dangerous, or are you just treating it the same?
No, absolutely. Like every round, my coaches go, he's going to come out harder now. He's going to come out harder now. So, no, that was definitely expected. That's how Marlon fights. He shouldn't fight like that, to be honest. If I had like a critique, he should not. Like even when I had him down in the first 2, I was like, what's this guy doing? You know, like. But that worked out good for me. But yeah, I knew he was going to come out just harder and harder and harder.
Yeah. Do you think that's like an energy conservation thing he's doing, or why? Or is it a counter opportunity he's looking for? Why do you think he chooses to fight like that? I mean,
I have no idea. You know, like I really have no idea. I was pretty happy with the way that I was really in good shape tonight. You know, like it's not easy on like the body to mix in the wrestling, then go back to striking, mix in the wrestling, go back to striking, be fast on your feet, and then also like kind of like have that grindy wrestlingness. So that's something that I was super happy about that I was doing, because that's like a very difficult task in MMA. So yeah. And
then a rare one from you, a call out from Marab.
Yeah.
With well, I got something for you to eat, and it don't taste good.
How stupid is that?
It was like listening. It was like listening to Chael call out Anderson all over again.
It was supposed to be as stupid as possible, so I hope that I accomplished that.
I would say you did.
Yes. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Corey, I have a right over here to your left. I want to go off of Marab since you called him out. Did you know that he was in the crowd? He was actually right behind you. And also, what is it about him that you see that could be a good match?
I think not Marlon. I think Marab is the best guy in the division right now, outside who's fighting for the title. I don't want to like shy away from challenges. I don't want to be that guy. I want to inspire people. I don't want to like cherry pick my fights all the way to the top. I want to fight the best guys so that when I do get the title, I can defend it because I'm experienced. And I think Marab is like a perfect challenge for my type of style, for my type of fighting. He's going to make me train really hard because of how good he is. And those are the types of guys that I want to fight. And if I can get past him, then I 100% deserve a title shot. And like I said, I just don't want to be like cherry pick guy. The guy's on like a 9-fight win streak. Who am I to like call him out before or to ask for a title before him? You know, like I'm not going to set that standard in MMA. You know, like people should be more real about it.
Bantamweight, obviously this division's one of the craziest right now, and especially with Cejudo coming back. I asked Dana the same thing. What is your overall thought about the state of bantamweight?
It's great. And you know what? I think it's going to be great for a really long time. That, I think, is what makes it super special, is because it's going to be the way that it is, in my opinion, in 2 years. You know, like the sport changes a lot all the time, but the other divisions I don't think have like the packed lineup that we have at 135. So I got like a lot of tough fights ahead of me, but I think it's going to be like this for a really long time. Thanks.
Hi, Corey. It was a nice fight for you, a great experience. Do you think the 2 first rounds were the key for you get a win?
Yeah, I mean, in a 5-round fight, in a 5-round game, if you lose the first 2, you have to win the next 3. That's like a horrible strategy to lose those first 2. So like from a strategic standpoint, you like can't lose the first 2, because then you have to win the next 15 minutes, and that's not easy against the top guys in the world. So yeah, you can fight a little bit different when you're up 2 rounds.
Yeah, Chito was like in men's form. Chito is Chito is one of the most difficult fighters on the arena. You know, with this win, you think it's now time to be focused on the belt, maybe?
I'm always focused on the belt. Yep, I'm always focused on the belt.
So, thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Corey, right here.
Yep.
At the end of the 4th round, it seemed like he had kind of like taken his mouthpiece out and he had spat on the ground, and you guys kind of locked eyes after that. What were you thinking at that point?
Bring it. No, I'm just kidding. It was like, I don't know. It's fighting, dude. You know, like hey, man, you got 5 more minutes to win this thing. You going to do it or not, you know? And am I going to stop you or not? So I love 5th rounds, man. There's nothing like a 5th round energy, especially in between like 4 and 5, like knowing that you only got like 5 more minutes to go. Like that's one of my favorite parts of this sport.
And then at the end, obviously, you guys embraced a little bit. What did he have to say to you at the end of the fight?
normal stuff. Hey, nice job, man. It was nice to fight you. You know, same thing. I respect Cheeto a lot. You know, like Cheeto's an inspiring guy. He came from Ecuador, which doesn't have too many other UFC fighters, or if any. I know that he's inspiring like his community back there. So, you know, I don't judge people really at all. So Cheeto's personality is his personality, but I think that what he's doing with his life is probably inspiring a lot of people, and that's like super cool. And I got love for him for that.
And we obviously know Cheeto is a little bit of a slow starter, obviously. But, I mean, through 3 rounds, were you going into that 4th round thinking, like, all right, he's got to pick it up at some point here? Were you expecting him to attack a little more than he did?
Yeah, but you can only do so much with certain, like, skills, you know? Like, that's like, he kept saying the whole week, like, whoever wants it more is going to win. And it's like, at some point, you run into other people that want it the same amount as you. And then you have to be better than them, or else you're going to go home, like, crying, you know, because you lost. And that's just, like, the name of the game in sports. Like, you have to, like, at some point, you start fighting people that want it as much as you, that work as hard as you. And at that point, you have to be, like, a better learner and a better fighter and just better overall technically. And I really believe that I was that over Cheeto.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Yep.
Corey, how confident would you say that your next fight will be against Merab?
Like 90%. I don't know.
Yeah, and you guys are on similar timelines. He like recently fought. So ideally, at least on your end, when would you like that fight to happen?
I got pretty hurt a couple times in this camp, so like I might need an elbow surgery. I was kind of going into it, not like 100%, but not enough to really like bitch super hard about it. But I might need an elbow surgery. I get married on September 1st. My fiance will kill me if we have the wedding, and I have to still be training for a fight. So it will definitely have to be before September 1st, or my fiance will kill both me and Merab. Yeah, she's feisty.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of debate about where the UFC bantamweight division stands just among the sport. A lot of people say it's the greatest. A lot of people still put lightweight right now. Where you who compete in this division, would you say it's like the best, the most competitive in the sport right now?
I think lightweight and bantamweight are super exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I love 155 too. My teammate Gaethje fights for them, and so I'm like super into 155 too. I don't really know. You know, I don't know. Sorry.
All good. And then May 6th, obviously, we're going to get the title fight between Cejudo and Sterling. Who do you think wins that one? How do you see that fight playing out?
I really can't call that one. I don't really know because I think Aljamain's going to have a really hard time getting behind Cejudo, but Aljamain's going to have like a really significant size difference over Cejudo, which matters. So to be honest, I don't really know how to call that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, my eyes hurting now.
Oh, you're good. Well, congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Hi, Corey. Was there any consideration in calling Sean O'Malley out?
Yeah, there was until I watched Merab fight last week and like beat up Jan the way that he beat up Jan, and O'Malley and Jan's fight was really close. Like I said, man, like in my opinion, Merab's more deserving of a title shot than O'Malley is. So if the UFC is set on having O'Malley fight for the title, which is what I kind of hear that they're doing, then I want to fight the next like top guy, even though I think he's the topper guy.
Do you think he's gonna sit around and wait for the title shot, or do you think he's gonna be active and fight again before?
If he was promised a title shot, then he's definitely going to wait for the title. If O'Malley wants to fight, we could 100% for sure fight. I would love that fight. I think the fans would love that fight. But like I said, I want to fight like the guy who I think is better, who's Merab.
Awesome. And do you have like any more or was there any other candidates for the interesting call that you did? Was there any other options than the route that you went?
Merab and O'Malley?
Yeah, or like, you know, when you called out Merab, you had like, you know, about the food and stuff like that. Did you have any other, like, were you planning anything else than that?
Oh, no, that was it. That was the end of the stupidity. Yeah, it was perfect.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. Corey, and what do you make of, because you clearly have a different approach, what do you make of Sean O'Malley kind of sitting out and just waiting for the title?
You know, I don't know. I don't really want to judge him. If I was promised a title shot, I'd probably sit around. You know, like you get paid more, you get more notoriety, all of this and that. So if I was promised a title shot, I would probably sit around until I got my title shot too. Just spend some time getting better.
Yeah.
You know, being a world champ is a goal. So if you were promised that, then like, yeah, don't mess that up.
And can we expect more cheesy call-outs? Is that the plan? moving forward?
Maybe that'll be my thing. Stupid call outs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need a thing. I'm too boring.
Thank you again, and congrats.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Corey, I'd have one quick one.
Okay.
In the promo, there was a portion that essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, but you essentially said, you know, they're saying that, you know, Chito needs a title shot over me, or they're going to give him a shot over me. Do you think emotionally that kind of helped you in you know, locking in for this fight even more so than you already are?
Yeah, because I think it's ridiculous. I beat Song, who beat Cheeto, and then like Cheeto jumped up to 3. I was like, what is going on here, you know? But, you know, he had a couple good knockouts and people improve and this and that, so I get it. But I definitely don't think Cheeto's better than me, and like, so when he was ranked above me and getting a bunch of like attention because he was like hype guy, then yeah, that like bothers me. But I don't know. I don't really have too many opinions about a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you. I just like show up every day and try to get myself better.
Thank you.
Yep.